Hey everyone, welcome back to New Release Today. I'm Bradden Ford, and we're here today interviewing more amazing Christian artists here in the We Rock Studios for the first time to interview one of my favorite indie artists for the past several years. Sean, how are you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing great. It's good to see you. Thanks for coming in and just hanging out at We Rock today, man.
Of
I'm
course,
excited to
dude.
be talking to you.
Definitely, man. It's an honor to get to interview you, especially in this space. And like, you come a long way since last time I've talked with you, last
Yeah.
time we've caught up, and it's incredible to see that. So, for all those watching right now who are wondering who you are, can you do a quick introduction on who you are, what's your music, and all those things?
Yeah, so my name is Sean Rodriguez. Back in 2023 was when my music career kind of got going. I was blessed to be able to go on the Winter Jam tour. At the time, I was using a different name. I was going under Sean B, and a lot of people are like, "Oh, why was B your last name?" So I came out of the Christian hip hop world. Hip hop was where I started. So it's always like, it's custom to just use a different name, like a stage name. And
Mm.
so the B was BE, and it was a call to action. Basically, it was the message that I would give from the platform is, God created you to be something unique. God created you to be something that only you could be. So whatever that is, be it. So just basically like God made you to be uniquely you. And so 2023 Winter Jam was incredible. That was actually my first tour ever.
Whoa.
And it was just kind of like, deep end, here you go, figure it out. But I met probably the guy that I look up to most in the Christian music industry right now, as far as artists go. And that is Kevin Young from Disciple.
Mm.
During that tour, I met him, and man, he just kind of took me under his wing and was like, "Bro, I've been where you are right now. Let me show you how I made it out."
Wow.
And he really did help me, both, like mentally, spiritually. Just he was a very strong support for me there. And so, kind of coming out of that season was when I decided, you know what, all right, God's got me on this path that I'm going to 100% just commit to all out. And so, yeah, now here we are a couple years later, and just some incredible things happening that I'm sure we're going to talk about as this goes on.
Definitely, man. Wow, I love that. Like, even before Winter Jam, I found you on an Instagram reel where you were rapping, and just from
Yeah,
there,
man.
dude, I remember being blown away by that, and then diving into your music and your first album and hearing it, and just being shocked about how well your music was. And then, like, not long after that, Winter Jam, and everything was happening. It was so cool getting to see you up on stage performing. What was like that experience? Because you went like from really beginning, learning how to be an artist, how what your sound was, and what the message was you carry, and then on there in Winter Jam tour in front of so many countless lives, and so many people were impacted by that. What was that like,
Yeah.
dude?
It was, man, it was unreal. It definitely was. Prior to music, before 2023, I was actually blessed to be a family pastor. So full-time
Wow.
ministry was what I was in. And so for me, I saw it as a really unique opportunity where I don't believe God took me out of ministry to go and do music, but he just extended the ministry platform to reach more people through music. And so it was really unreal. It was cool to hear people liking the songs, and seeing the arenas and stuff was really cool. I think where I spent the most time though was after the concerts, meeting people
Mm.
and, shaking hands and hearing stories. And the reason that I loved that was because for me, coming into this season where God was, in the way that we would like to think God was being God, right? God was opening these doors. God was doing immeasurably more in my life. At the same time that I'm experiencing that, I'm shaking hands and meeting people in the meet and greet lines after that are telling me their stories about how God's doing something immeasurably more in their life. And so that blew my mind more than anything else, because I was like, whoa, God is God for everybody. And he's being God in everybody's life at the same time. I'm not the only one that is seeing immeasurably more in my life. And it just opened up my mind to like, this is incredible. Like, ministry truly was, once I got out of inside of the church ministry and got out to traveling and doing ministry, I was like, this is insane. Like, God, you're blowing my mind by these experiences.
Wow, dude, that is incredible. Like hearing that, some people they don't know about music. It's not just you're out there recording songs and then released. It's really a ministry, especially how God uses it and takes these stories and these themes and anthems that we cling on to. It has songs that just become our soundtrack to keep going. And like I've seen that through your music, from Step Into My Story. I remember hearing that
Yeah.
song.
Yep.
I think we did a premiere for a video of it on NRT,
Yeah.
and just being blown away by that message. And I remember even after Winter Jam talking with a friend of mine who was like 15 years old, asked him, "Who's your favorite act?" And he was like, "That Sean guy.
That's
That
cool,
song
man. I
impacted
love
me."
that.
I know, dude, this is so
That's
cool how that
really
happened.
cool.
And then the name change happened
Yeah.
recently too, which,
Yep.
well, a few years now. But like, dude, it's been incredible to see how Sean Rodriguez now stepping into that light, and you have a new EP out, which we're going to dive into soon. What went into that name change into the new season you're in right now with music?
Yeah, so there's a lot of different pieces within that. First of all, my grandfather, he's been a pastor for over 40 years, man, and he has really taught me what it means to just relentlessly pursue God's calling, like
Mm,
relentlessly. He has sacrificed so much for it. He has fearlessly led the church and the community that God has trusted him with, and so I learned a lot about how I operate in music through watching him operate within the church, and so on one end, using my real name was to honor the legacy of ministry that God started in him, to
mhm,
kind of say like, all right, I'm stepping into this fully, and this is me continuing the ministry legacy. Well, at the same time, just saying I fully want my music and my ministry to collide. I want it all to be reflected within each other. And so changing the name from, Sean B, which like I said earlier was primarily more hip hop, into Sean Rodriguez gave me this just kind of like fresh start to say, okay, as a family pastor, I had to be able to break down a message for children, teenagers, their parents, their grandparents, people from different walks of life, right?
mhm,
You had to be able to break down a message and share it. So in music, I want to be able to do the same thing. I want to make a song for everybody to be able to say, that one's for me. That one's for me. You know what I mean? I want to make sure that there's a message that can get to everybody. And so, again, stepping into that Sean Rodriguez, just kind of changing that and beginning that new chapter, I feel like that allowed me to do that. And so it was a great fresh start and just an all in jumping into that ministry mindset.
mhm. That's incredible, dude. I remember reading your post about it and being like, I love that. Like, that's not just a publicity stunt. It's actually, you're pouring your heart into this for
Yeah.
the ministry and all that. And like you said, you came from being a pastor already in ministry. And
Hmm.
then from that to music, like, what's it been like seeing how God reaches through that season of your life, looking back, like, okay, God did so much here to set me up for what he's doing now?
Oh my goodness, so much. It's almost every musical experience that I have, I can relate back to, oh, this is why God allowed me to go through that. This is why God put me here. From being in the church, knowing how to communicate with people, knowing how to pray for somebody that comes up and is like, "Hey, Sean, I'm going through this." I'm not just like, "Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Let's take a picture," and you keep going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Hmm.
I'm equipped with the ability to, let's talk about that. What's going on? Tell me more about that. Let me pray for you now.
Mm,
To people who challenge me on, hey, Bible says this, or Christianity, God's not real, those kind of things. It prepared me to be able to handle those things, those public confrontations, be able to defend my faith,
mhm,
while at the same time, there's always that whole, when you work, and it was a smaller church. When you work in a smaller church, you have to be able to wear a lot of different hats,
mhm,
and when you are a music artist trying to kind of get your career going, you got to wear a bunch of different hats. And so, from
mhm.
a work ethic standpoint, a ministry standpoint, a love standpoint, relational, all of it just kind of came together. And I'm like, okay, this is exactly why God allowed me to go through this season first, because He wanted me to be prepared to handle where He wanted to send me. And without that, I wouldn't have been able to handle any of this, truly.
Wow. Dude, that's amazing how God just equipped you. He got you ready for it like that. And then you're still out there doing so much
Yeah.
ministry. Like, I just I feel like keeps going on to your story about that. Like, reading up on you, listen to your music, especially the new EP, Jesus Will,
Yes.
dude.
Yeah.
Like, listening to it, it was just something because, like, these are just so many songs of promises. These are anthems to hold on to. But, like, what's the story of this EP full of, like, there's so many different styles coming together, so many
Yeah.
different messages. Like, if you've not heard it, please listen to this EP. You will not be disappointed. It is incredible. What's the story of it, man?
Yeah. So again, like you said, it's promises and it's anthems of really just hope in
Mhm,
Jesus. Even the lead song from that, Jesus Will, it's more of a sad song, but it's hopeful at the same time. That whole EP reflects hope in the promise of God and God's victory in our life.
mhm.
Not our victory, not victory because of anything we've done, because we'll lose on our own, but it's when we depend on God, He gets the victory and we are his, and so by that we get the victory as well. And so the reason that it's different is because, like I said, reflecting back to my family pastor years, where I wanted to be able to deliver a message in a way that every generation, every walk of life would be able to want to receive that. And so if you listen to the EP, if It Is Finished isn't for you, well, maybe Jesus Will is. If Jesus Will isn't for you, maybe Honey is. And guess what? Whatever is your cup of tea, you're going to still get that message of hope and victory in God. You're just receiving it differently. And so it was very much focused on, being able to give that to the different people in the way that they wanted to receive it.
Let's go,
Yeah.
dude. That is incredible. And like on the EP, like you said, there's so many different songs, so many different styles, whether it's you're vibing on Honey, whether it's
Yeah.
you're rocking out to It Is Finished,
Yep.
which speaking of the song's been like taking over the charts.
Dude.
Like,
Yeah.
is it 8 weeks number one now at this
Yep.
point?
Yes, sir.
Which is incredible. If you're a fan of rock or if you're just a fan of music in general, this song's a treat. Like there's some
Yeah.
hip hop in it. It's not super heavy, but then it gets super heavy too. It's just full of so many different mix. Like, dude, I love it. It's one of my favorite rock songs that have come out recently. What's the story behind the song?
We just had so much fun with that song. That was there are no rules, there's no outline, there's no box. Let's just do whatever sounds cool next.
Mm-hmm.
That was literally how we made that song. And obviously that's why it's so, there's pop elements, there's rock elements. Kevin Young comes in and just takes the energy to a whole other level. When I got to tell you a story, man. When he came in, we recorded right here in We Rock. When he came in, man, he was just like, "What's up, buddy? I haven't seen you for a while. I love you, bro." Like, gave me a hug, all of that. Man, he jumps in the booth and just like lets it go. And like we fanned out. I promise you, me and all the team that were in the, that we were recording him, we were high-fiving. We were like, "He did it. Oh, that was crazy."
Oh, yeah.
So it was this crazy moment for me to where, I was collaborating with a person that I've been a fan of for so long, but not just the music that Kevin and Disciple make, but their heart for ministry. You will not go to a Disciple concert without hearing the word and without getting, a presentation of this is the gospel. Do you want to receive Jesus tonight? It won't happen. I've never been to a concert where that is not presented. And so to be able to join forces with somebody with the same heart was so incredible to me, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it just really made it a lot of fun.
I love that. You get that energy from it, whether you love it just because of its rock, you love it because of the message. I love it for all of it, dude. And that's why it's reaching the charts.
Here's the cool thing about that is, I posted on social media and stuff like that. Man, the amount of times that I've got comments that say, "I don't listen to Christian music, but this song is cool." Or like literally the other day, somebody said, "Catchy tune, but God is just a fictional character from a book." Wow. And I just thought about that for a second. And I was like, man, so I responded to that comment and, first I addressed, "I'm glad you like the song. Like, that's really cool, because think about this. If this guy is singing the song, if this song is stuck in his head, guess what he's singing? Mm-hmm. The glory be to God and God alone." He's singing that while also following saying, "Oh, God's just a fictional character from a book." So I just encourage him to say, look, man, our initial knowledge of who God is, that does come from a book, that comes from the Bible, but our experience of God's love in our life takes it way beyond him being a fictional character. That our experience of God's love is how God proves himself beyond a shadow of a doubt that he truly is real. And so I was able to share that with this guy who commented. He never responded to me. I don't know if he read the message or not, but the fact that that seed was able to be planted in, "I don't believe in God, but this is a catchy song," that's awesome. Mm-hmm. Like it's doing its job then. And so, for it to not only have fun making that song, but to also see the way that it's reaching out beyond the church has been really, really cool.
Man, that's just awesome how God's using that like that. Whether like he's made you extremely talented in music and he's equipped you with ministry tools to be able to reach others, and like seeing how just all the things, like we said, how it's where like to my story, we didn't come this far just to come this far.
Yeah, that's it.
Like how God's using that in your life is incredible. And these songs are reaching people, they're impacting, whether It Is Finished, whether it's all these other incredible, awesome ones on there. So, dude, what's coming up with Sean Rodriguez? What can you be excited for? What can all the fans be hyped for? And by the way, if you don't follow this guy, follow Sean Rodriguez. All social medias, check him out on all music platforms. You will not be disappointed.
Man, we have some fun stuff coming up. This year, we actually just got done last week doing a rehearsal for our tour this year.
Oh, yeah.
And man, we were able to just strip the whole show apart and rebuild it exactly how we kind of always envisioned it. You know, my team and I got together and we said, what if we did this? What if we mixed these songs? And so it just, the show looks so different, and the moments within the show are so impactful. So I'm really excited about that. So tour announcements are coming soon for sure. Writing a lot, getting some new songs ready and all of that. But really, man, I just, this year for me is all about getting out. I want to get out on the road. I want to meet people. I want to interact with people. And I just want more of that. You know, what I experience on tour a lot is, hey, we're going to go and do this show. And then as long as, if there's a line of people, we're going to stand there and we're going to meet people and we are going to talk to them until they're done with that conversation. So I'm so excited about that part of it. Again, to go back to realizing how God is being God in everyone's life. So a lot of tour dates, maybe some new music, but just fun stuff all around.
Exciting, man. For all the people who are listening, like, cannot encourage you guys more. Check out his concert, check out him on tour. Like, I was honored to be there to hear the rehearsal performances.
Yeah.
And dude, it's up there. Like, I was more than blown away by it all.
Thank you.
Like, compared to Winter Jam, you've stepped it up a lot.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Winter's. Yeah, definitely. I will do Winter Jam again at some point, and we'll bring this new version, this new flavor. You know, technically as Sean Rodriguez, I've never done Winter Jam. So,
that is true.
You know, we could do it for the first time again.
There you go. Your debut act there.
Yep.
I love that, man. And dude, thanks again for spending time with us and everything. Like, I've known you for a few years now, been following you, and it's incredible to see. And some people are now jumping on board. They're listening to your music, and it's just so awesome how God's putting all those pieces together and continuing to move in your life and open those doors.
Well, man, I really appreciate NRT because, you know, even with, you know, back in 2023, I was honored to receive your Next Big Thing award from NRT. And, you know, truly, you guys saw something in me that I don't think I had fully seen in myself just yet. And so it was really encouraging to just have that support from NRT and that push to say like, yo, we believe in you. We're behind you. And, you know, we want to ride this out with you. So that was so encouraging. So I love the work that you guys do and the impact that, you know, you have. Sometimes you just, you know, you do the thing, you know, it's the music business, it's the music industry, but, you know, so that y'all know there is impact that you guys are making, even on myself, that you may not realize in the moment, but it is there and it's lasting a long time. So I appreciate you for letting me sit down with you today, and you know, just for being an incredible support and encouragement throughout these years.
Of course, man. Very much appreciate that, dude. Like, we love pouring to artists like you that we see God's heart in, we see the talent and the skills, and just literally we love it so much. That's why we're doing We Love Awards again. We always have new next big things coming out there because God just keeps on moving in Christian music, and you're part of that new wave of what God's doing in there. It's incredible to see, man.
Thank you.
Of course. So how could, one last question we always do with NRT.
Yeah.
How could we be praying for you, dude?
Man, that is such a good question. Something that I've been praying on right now has been this whole idea of just like this supernatural kind of endurance and drive. I feel like I've been blessed to be able to keep, you know, continue working hard and, you know, all of that. And so what I pray for the most is for that supernatural endurance. Like, God, let me continue to give my excellence to you in everything that I do, because it is, you know, it's a lot of work, and it's, you know, it's go here, you know, do this, and long nights and all of that kind of stuff. And then, you know, you go home and you have the family at home and you want to be excellent for them. So the endurance to be excellent in all areas of life, not just musically, but, you know, spiritually, for the family, for myself, everywhere that I go, I want to be able to have that endurance to give God my best, to be excellent in everything. So if y'all could be praying for that, that would be incredible.
Definitely, man. We'll be praying for that, and we'll be supporting you continually in what all the doors God opens. Like, 2025 is just getting started.
Yeah.
There's so much to come, and even beyond that, dude. So we're excited for it. And again, if everyone watching this, follow him, listen to his music. You will not be disappointed. Whether you love pop, rap, rock, you got it all.
Yeah, that's
even
it.
Honey, which if you've not heard Honey, it's a treat. Believe me.
Man, Honey is going to be fun this year. The live version of Honey. There's a lot that I'm excited about, so I can't say I'm most excited about that song, but I am very excited about that song.
For sure. Well, thank you again, man. We're so glad to have you here, dude. Thank you again.
Thank you.